All right, let's get right to tying this Prince Nymph. A lot of times with these, I don't put any extra lead wire or lead-free wire on here, but for today, we'll kind of tie this up with all of the weight. I won't tie it with the lead-free wire because a lot of times I'm fishing this in still water, so I don't really need the extra weight. The tungsten bead gets them down plenty fast. But we'll go ahead and get our thread attached. Just go through that wire real quick. Make sure it's all secure. Come back here to the bend of the hook. And this is the key to our tail. When we get back here, we're going to tie a little bit of a bump so now we have, you can see just a little bit of a bump back there. That's going to help our tails splay out how we want them. We're going to get those tails, get them lined up so they're splaying away from each other. And then we're going to get a tail. I like it maybe just less than hook shank. I'll go right up where that bump was and tie them in right at that bump. And that is going to get those tails to splay really nicely for you. Those tails, they might be a tad long, but I think we're going to go with them. I think sometimes when I see pictures of stonefly nymphs, their tail is a lot longer than what I think what it should be. So now we can get our ribbing tied in and just tie it in right at the point where that lead-free wire is tied in. Now we can tie in our peacock herl for the body. We haven't gotten to yet the part of this fly that I'm going to change. That's really gonna, although using fluorescent orange thread is definitely different than the normal red thread that you're using, but I like a fluorescent orange collar on this fly, even on my standard ones. So we get our peacock herl tied in. Now just being careful of that hook point. We'll just get this spiraled up, wrapped on, touching turns. All the way up to behind the bead. And then we can just get some nice securing wraps. We need to be careful of our wraps up here. We've got a lot to tie in up here in the front. Now we can counter wrap with our ribbing. This will strengthen that peacock herl. If you want, you could have put some super glue down before you wrap that peacock herl, and that would really help make this pattern incredibly strong. Another thing with this pattern, this 10-aught thread really does help. with the bulk, because like I said, up here at the front, we really need to be mindful of our thread wraps. I can come in here with our hackle, get some good securing wraps on all sides of it. Now, with this fly, I will say the Whiting Farms, well, any soft hackle, really, these Whiting Farms, this is a Herbert Minor wet fly cape, and it's an amazing feather. Wraps great, and just looks great. Go ahead and get some securing wraps on this feather, and I like to just bring everything back, get a couple wraps. It just holds everything back where it should be. Then we can come in here, trim that stem out close. Now we got a nice hackle going, but we come in here and trim out some space for our horns. Whatever they're supposed to be. I'm not exactly 100% sure. They could be an emerging wing. Who knows? Kind of get some of these barbules off the top so they're kind of more down around the sides and bottom, kind of like legs. So here's where we are going to change things up. We are going to go with some orange biots instead of white for our horns. So we just get them kind of crossed a little bit, set them down on top. I like to hold them with my thumb of my non-tying hand. Get those secured. You can come in with a bodkin and kind of bend those on that thread. That'll get them to prop up. And then I like to take the butt ends, pull them back towards the tail, and get a wrap or two just on those butt ends. Still being mindful of our thread wraps. We want a thread collar, but we don't want it to be too thick of a thread collar. So we're going to be careful then too to only trim the butt ends. And it's all right if you have a little bit of a tag because it's folded over. Come back in here, get that bodkin in there. You can bend those back up how you like them. Come in here with the whip finish. Again, being mindful of our thread wraps. We don't want too thick of a thread collar. That's about how I like them. The last thing is to come in here with some UV Craft ultra thin resin. Little drop right there on the top on those thread wraps. You definitely could even not have a giant blob. You then could even come in on the sides with just a little dab. Let that soak in. And if you let a little bit come over here onto where those horns are, You can hold those horns where you like them, hit it with the UV light, and that will actually help lock those in place there. If you have a little bit of extra resin that goes right there, that's going to help really set those where you like them, so they want to stay. You see, like that, I can push down on them and they really want to stay up where I like them, kind of up and away from the body of the fly. But that is my variation on the classic Prince Nymph. Getting a hot spot on those horns really, I think, brings the fish in. So go ahead and grab some materials and give it a try. Thanks for watching.